A quiet night descends upon Kuala Lumpur. Below, the sprawling city lights glimmer like scattered jewels. Above, a Boeing 777, a titan of the skies, prepares for its journey. A routine flight, thousands undertaken every day, connecting continents, carrying dreams. But this night, something different. Something profound. Something that would shatter the calm and cast an eternal shadow across the globe. An ordinary departure into an extraordinary, unimaginable silence. The engine's hum, a steady rhythm, would soon become a ghostly echo. The world watched, then waited. A journey into the unknown. A disappearance. The aircraft, Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. Its destination, Beijing, China. On board, 239 souls, passengers and crew, from 14 different nations. Families, friends, professionals, all with their own stories, their own futures. Unaware of the fate that awaited them, the chilling silence that would soon engulf their very existence. The sheer scale of the human loss, staggering. The mystery, deepening with every passing moment. A silent promise, broken. A scheduled arrival, never fulfilled. The journey began at 12:42 a.m. local time. An innocent start to a devastating enigma. For approximately 38 minutes, Flight MH370 followed its assigned flight path, eastbound over the South China Sea. A trajectory meticulously planned, meticulously executed. The air traffic controllers, vigilant. The crew, composed. The passengers, settling in for a long flight. All signs normal. No indication of distress. No alarms. Just the rhythmic pulse of a sophisticated machine, cutting through the night. The calm before the storm, before the inexplicable deviation. A perfectly ordinary flight, until it wasn't. The track of a ghost plane, yet to reveal its true, horrifying course. At 1:19 a.m., the final voice contact. Malaysian Air Traffic Control bid farewell to MH370, instructing it to contact Ho Chi Minh City ATC. The response, "Good night, Malaysian 370. A calm, unremarkable exchange. These simple words, now etched into history, carrying an unsettling weight. The last known verbal communication. The end of a dialogue, the beginning of an interrogation. No hint of anything amiss. Just a routine handover. A moment frozen in time, before the veil of silence descended. An ordinary moment, preceding the extraordinary. Just minutes later, at 1:21 a.m., the aircraft's transponder ceased transmitting. Abruptly. Without warning. Without explanation. The transponder, a device crucial for identifying aircraft on civilian radar screens, simply went dark. A sudden disappearance from the digital tapestry of the skies. No distress call. No emergency signal. Just a void where a plane should have been. A deliberate act, or a catastrophic failure? The fundamental question emerged, hanging heavy in the air. The first definitive sign that something was terribly, terrifyingly wrong. A silent erasure. From that moment, MH370 became a ghost to civilian air traffic control. Its unique signature, gone. The bustling airspace, suddenly missing one of its own. Controllers in Vietnam waited for contact, their calls unanswered. Concern grew, slowly morphing into alarm. An unimaginable scenario unfolding in real time. A plane, gone. A silence, profound. The vast expanse of the South China Sea, now hiding a terrible secret. An empty screen. A growing sense of dread. The search began, not knowing where to look, or what to look for. But MH370 was not entirely gone. Unbeknownst to civilian controllers, military radar tracked an unidentified aircraft. An object, large and fast, deviating from its course. The silent watcher, observing a plane embark on a new, perplexing trajectory. Westward. A dramatic, unexplained turn. away from Beijing, away from established air routes. Heading instead across the Malay Peninsula, towards the Andaman Sea. A ghost plane, leaving a faint digital trail. A crucial, yet ambiguous, piece of the unfolding puzzle. The plot thickened. The mystery deepened. This radical change in direction, detected by Malaysian military radar, was significant. A stark departure from any emergency procedure. No indication of a mechanical failure. No response from the pilots. Just a silent, deliberate pivot. From its original course towards the northeast, MH370 performed a U-turn, heading southwest, then west. The precise moment, the precise reason, still shrouded in uncertainty. A left turn, into the heart of the unknown. A decision, or a commandeering? The world began to ask. The plane, now an enigma. Further enhancing the mystery, the aircraft's aircraft communications addressing and reporting system, or ACARS, also ceased transmission. This system, vital for automatically sending operational data to the airline, went dark around the same time as the transponder. Its silence, not necessarily indicative of a catastrophic event, but certainly of an interruption. Whether intentionally switched off or due to a power failure, the effect was the same. MH370 was now truly isolated. A ghost in the machine. A flight disconnected from the world. A chilling silence. The unidentified blip on military radar continued its westward trajectory, crossing the Malay Peninsula, flying directly over Penang. It then turned northwest, towards the Strait of Malacca. A path far from its scheduled destination. A path of deliberate avoidance, or a course dictated by an unseen hand. The military, initially unaware of the civilian disappearance, simply registered an anomalous flight. An object. Not a crisis. Yet, this object was MH370. Unseen, unheard, yet undeniably present. A shadow moving across the map, leaving only questions. The last confirmed military radar contact with the unidentified object, later determined to be MH370, occurred at 2:22 a.m. It was then approximately 200 nautical miles northwest of Penang, over the Strait of Malacca. After this point, the aircraft vanished entirely from all radar systems. No more blips. No more ghost images. Just emptiness. A blank screen, signaling a profound and utter disappearance. The definitive end of any direct human tracking. From here on, the plane's movements would be deduced, inferred, guessed. The ocean, an accomplice to silence. Yet, a faint, ethereal lifeline remained. Unknown to investigators initially, a British satellite telecommunications company, Inmarsat, had been receiving automated signals from MH370. These handshake pings, or partial signals, were exchanged between the aircraft and an Inmarsat satellite. Not data transmissions, not location markers, but a digital heartbeat. Proof, however tenuous, that the plane was still in the air, still powered. A silent conversation, happening far above the raging storm and below the stars. The only clue, pointing to a vast, dark expanse. These pings occurred approximately once every hour. A total of 7 partial transmissions after the last radar contact. Each one a whisper from the void. Each one a breadcrumb, meticulously collected and analyzed by Inmarsat's engineers. The data, raw and unprecedented, demanded innovative interpretation. A challenge unlike any before. To transform these faint signals into a possible flight path, into a trajectory of a ghost. The only guide, in a world utterly bereft of answers. Each ping, a desperate plea for recognition. Using the timing and characteristics of these pings, Inmarsat analysts calculated 2 possible arcs. One, extending north over Asia. The other, curving south into the remote Indian Ocean. The satellite's position in the sky, the angle of the signal, the time delay, all crucial. But without definitive speed or direction data, the exact location remained a tantalizing, yet frustrating, unknown. a vast crescent of uncertainty. A needle in an oceanic haystack. The world held its breath, as calculations led to an area of unimaginable scale. The hunt, defined by ambiguity. Further analysis, combining fuel consumption models and the characteristics of the pings, pointed overwhelmingly to the southern arc. A desolate, unforgiving stretch of the Indian Ocean. A region known for its powerful storms, its crushing depths, its extreme isolation. The implication, chilling. MH370, an aircraft designed for long-haul routes, had likely flown for hours after its last radar contact. Hours of silent flight, into oblivion. The vastness of this new search area, daunting. The remoteness, terrifying. The scale of the challenge, immense. The final, partial handshake occurred at 8:19 a.m. This was the last whisper, the last digital breath from MH370. 7 hours and 40 minutes after taking off from Kuala Lumpur. 7 hours after its transponder went silent. By this time, the aircraft would have been desperately low on fuel, or already exhausted its supply. The implication, grim. The likely scenario, a controlled or uncontrolled descent into the tumultuous waters below. The point of impact, somewhere along that vast, southern arc. A final silence. A descent into the deep. The initial search for MH370 was chaotic, spanning multiple seas and multiple theories. Days passed, then weeks, with no trace. The shift to the southern Indian Ocean, guided by the Inmarsat data, narrowed the focus but expanded the physical challenge exponentially. An area of immense geological complexity, far from any landmass. A hostile environment. The search area, defined by an arc, became a vast canvas of despair. A blue desert, hiding its secrets. The scale, unprecedented. The odds, daunting. The disappearance prompted an unprecedented international search effort. Naval vessels, aircraft, and experts from Australia, Malaysia, China, and many other nations joined forces. A global collaboration against an invisible enemy, the vastness of the ocean. Each country, contributing resources, expertise, and hope. A shared determination to find answers, to bring closure. Yet, despite the immense resources deployed, the ocean proved to be an adversary of unimaginable power. A silent, swallowing force. The world watched, desperate for a sign. Initially, the search focused on the surface. Spotting any floating debris in the turbulent waters. Aircraft flew endless grids, ships trawled designated areas. Every piece of flotsam, every anomaly, scrutinized. The false alarms, heartbreakingly frequent. Logs, fishing gear, marine litter, each mistaken for a clue. The immense scale of the ocean, a cruel deceiver. The relentless winds and powerful currents, scattering any potential evidence across thousands of square miles. A desperate search for a needle, in an ocean full of hay. Hope, diminishing with each passing day. The dynamics of the Indian Ocean currents posed an enormous challenge. Any debris, even if found, would have drifted vast distances from the actual crash site. Simulating these complex currents became crucial, yet imperfect. The debris field, if one existed, would be dispersed, fragmented, unrecognizable. A vast, watery conveyor belt, carrying away any potential answers. The deeper mystery, concealed by the currents themselves. A relentless force of nature, protecting the ocean's secrets. The vastness, mocking the human effort. When no surface debris was found, the search shifted focus to the crushing depths. An entirely different challenge. The ocean floor, in parts of the southern Indian Ocean, plunges to depths of over 6,000 meters, nearly 20,000 feet. A dark, unexplored world. Extreme pressure, zero visibility, rugged terrain. Mount Everest, inverted. A landscape of towering ridges, deep trenches, and volcanic activity. To find a plane in such an environment, an unprecedented undertaking. The true extent of the challenge, now terrifyingly clear. A hidden world, guarding its secrets. To conquer these depths, advanced technology was deployed. Autonomous underwater vehicles, or AUVs, like the Bluefin 21, equipped with high-resolution sonar, became the eyes and ears of the search. Remotely operated vehicles, ROVs, were also utilized. These machines, capable of withstanding immense pressure, systematically scoured predefined areas of the seabed, mapping the uncharted, inch by painstaking inch. A testament to human ingenuity. A desperate attempt to penetrate the ocean's veil. But even the most sophisticated technology has its limits. The ocean, vast and unforgiving. Central to any aviation investigation are the black boxes, the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder. Designed to withstand extreme impacts, they emit acoustic pings for approximately 30 days. Specialized hydrophones were deployed, listening for these faint signals. A race against time. A desperate hope. But the vastness of the ocean, the distortion of sound in deep water, and the battery life limitation meant the window was narrow. The silence that followed the expiry of the pings, deafening. Another layer of mystery, cemented. Despite concerted efforts, no credible acoustic pings from the black boxes were ever detected. The silence, profound. The black boxes, if they existed, remained silent, swallowed by the deep. This lack of signals further complicated the search, removing a critical directional guide. It meant the search area, already immense, could not be refined by direct evidence. The hunt, reliant solely on inference, on satellite data. The deep ocean, a tomb of sound. The mystery, deepening with every passing day. The plane, utterly unyielding to detection. Then, a breakthrough. More than a year after the disappearance, in July 2015, a barnacle-encrusted aircraft component washed ashore on Réunion Island, off the coast of Africa. A Boeing 777 flaperon. The first tangible evidence. A small, yet immensely significant piece of the puzzle. The world watched, hopeful. Could this be the key? The drift patterns confirmed it was consistent with MH370's probable crash site in the southern Indian Ocean. A fragment, providing concrete proof of the aircraft's end. Yet, no answers about its journey. Forensic examination of the flaperon conclusively confirmed it belonged to MH370. This was the first unequivocal proof that the aircraft had indeed crashed. It provided grieving families with the confirmation they desperately sought, even as it offered little in the way of explanation for how or why. A small victory in a sea of despair. Other pieces of debris, including parts of the engine cowling and cabin interior, would later be found on beaches in Mozambique, Tanzania, and Mauritius. Fragments scattered across thousands of miles. The vastness of the ocean, truly revealed. Despite the discovery of these scattered fragments, the main wreckage of MH370, including its black boxes, has never been found. The vast deep-sea search, costing hundreds of millions of dollars, yielded no results. The underwater expeditions, meticulously conducted over 3 years, combed over 120,000 square kilometers of the ocean floor. An area the size of England. Yet, the aircraft remained elusive. Its final resting place, a closely guarded secret of the deep. The silence from the abyss, absolute. The world, left to wonder. In the absence of concrete answers, theories abound. From catastrophic mechanical failure to hypoxia, from fire to a deliberate act of pilot incapacitation or even suicide. Some point to a hijacking, others to an electrical fire disabling systems. Each theory, a desperate attempt to rationalize the inexplicable. Each hypothesis, a reflection of human need for closure. But without the black boxes, without the main fuselage, these remain just that, theories. Whispers in the dark. The ultimate truth, swallowed by the sea. The plane, a canvas for speculation. The most pervasive theories often center on human intervention, particularly the actions of the pilot, Zahari Ahmad Shah. The deliberate turning off of the transponder and ACARS. The deviation from the flight path. The hours of silent flight. Was it an act of terror? Or a descent into despair? The evidence, circumstantial. The official report acknowledged the possibility of human intervention. Yet, no definitive proof has ever emerged. The private life of a man, now scrutinized, forever linked to the deepest of mysteries. A silent accusation, without a verdict. Beyond the technicalities and the theories, lies the enduring human cost. 239 lives. Families shattered, futures lost. The raw, agonizing pain of not knowing. Of having no grave to visit, no answers to cling to. The plight of these families, a powerful reminder of the tragedy's true depth. They became advocates, researchers, activists. Their voices, a relentless call for truth, for closure. A profound void in the lives of hundreds. An eternal echo of absence. The silence, a burden they carry every single day. The disappearance of MH370 prompted significant changes in aviation safety and tracking protocols. New technologies are being developed to ensure continuous, real-time tracking of aircraft, especially over remote ocean areas. The idea that a modern airliner could vanish without a trace became an unacceptable reality. International aviation bodies pushed for enhanced tracking capabilities, striving to prevent such an enigma from ever happening again. A global commitment born from unimaginable loss. A silent promise to future travelers. Yet, for MH370, it's too late. In January 2017, after 3 years of relentless effort and no definitive discovery, the official underwater search was suspended. A devastating decision for the families, and for the teams who had dedicated years to the hunt. The Australian Transport Safety Bureau concluded their report stating, "The reasons for the loss of MH370 cannot be established with certainty until the aircraft is found." A stark admission of defeat. The search for answers halted. The ocean, victorious in its silence. A pause, not a conclusion. The mystery endures. Despite the official suspension, the hope for answers never fully died. Private efforts, driven by renewed data analysis and financial backing, launched new expeditions. Ocean Infinity, a private exploration company, conducted a second, extensive deep-sea search in 2018. Their advanced autonomous vessels scoured another vast area of the southern Indian Ocean. Yet, once again, the sea yielded nothing. The sophisticated technology, humbled by the immense challenge. The aircraft, holding its secrets tight. Another attempt, another failure. The darkness, unwavering. Periodically, new analyses of existing data, or even fresh interpretations of obscure signals, reignite hopes. Independent researchers, aviation experts, and grieving families continue their tireless quest. Each new hypothesis, each subtle re-evaluation of satellite data, offers a glimmer. A possibility. Could there be a clue missed? A piece of the puzzle, overlooked? The scientific and technical discussions remain active, fueled by the sheer scale of the mystery. The plane, still generating questions, nearly a decade later. The enigma, enduring. Much of this new analysis revolves around refining the seventh arcade, the precise line where the final satellite ping occurred. Experts meticulously re-examine the tiny nuances of the Inmarsat data, combined with advanced drift modeling and hydroacoustic research. Every potential variable, considered. Every possibility, explored. The pursuit of a smaller, more refined search zone. A desperate hope to narrow the immense void. To bring definition to the blur. To finally pinpoint the true coordinates. The science, unwavering in its pursuit of truth. Some researchers highlight anomalous data points, small discrepancies in the aircraft's system logs or radar returns that could hint at a different, even more complex scenario. These subtle blips, often dismissed as noise, are now scrutinized for any hidden meaning. Could these minor deviations hold the key to understanding the aircraft's last hours? A flight path deviating not just horizontally, but perhaps vertically. A descent, then a brief ascent? Or a final, controlled glide? The whispers of untold data. The possibility of something even stranger. Despite the lack of success, the possibility of a future search remains. Advances in deep-sea technology, coupled with potentially new insights from data analysis, could one day lead to another attempt. The families of the missing continue to advocate, their hope a burning ember. Perhaps one day, the ocean will relinquish its ultimate secret. Perhaps one day, the silence will break. The yearning for answers, for justice, for closure, remains. A hope, persistent, against all odds. The belief that no mystery is truly unsolvable. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 represents perhaps the greatest aviation mystery of our time. A modern airliner, with 239 souls on board, simply vanished. Swallowed by the vastness of the Indian Ocean. Its disappearance transformed global aviation, leaving behind a legacy of unanswered questions and profound sorrow. The dark waters, the unforgiving depths, hold its final truth. A silent vigil. A ghost in the machine, and in the collective consciousness. The world still asks, what happened to MH370? The ocean remains silent. The mystery, enduring. A cinematic, chilling enigma.